Student number 120013, Sean Mullins. Alright. Hello and good morning, everyone. I'm here to propose my game idea called Dilemma, and basically spew information at you and hope I get really, really good marks. I'd just like to start off by saying I didn't design the theme for this presentation. I found it online free at slidescarnival.com. I don't know why this thing isn't going to the next slide. Okay. Choice. One or the other. I'm going to discuss what I believe the core concepts are for the entire idea of what choice is to us, and everything that means for the game. This quote is by Tiffany Aching in Terry Pratchett's book Wintersmith. This I choose to do. If there is a price, this I choose to pay. If it is my death, then I choose to die. Where this takes me, there I choose to go. I choose, this I choose to do. I think this is a pretty powerful quote in quite a humorous book. It kind of explains exactly what choice means to us as humans and why it affects basically everything we do. And on top of that, why it's become such a prominent ideal in these interactive experiences that have grown that we call games, and why it's going to be such an important part of this game, Dilemma. So the three main core concepts that I find to be effective in choice are A, freedom of choice. One cannot actually make a choice unless given the freedom to do so and given multiple options, of which they are either equally desirable, equally undesirable, or equally neutral. One cannot make a choice between a desirable and undesirable effect. There's no choice there, unless you really are a glutton for punishment. The second one being choice in games. Now, games are interactive experiences as we come to know them. They're interactive experiences because we're able to make these choices in them. Things like down to mechanics of you can give me a game in which I can click a button and shoot a gun. That's not very interesting unless you tell me how I can shoot that gun. Can I move to the left? Can I jump? Can I crouch? Can I look up? Can I look down? Certain games have boss encounters. Certain areas or mechanics of games that are designed to be more intensive than other areas of that game. If I were to move left around the boss or right around the boss, those constitute dynamics and choices that I can make in that scenario, and thereby implicating what games are in the sense of being able to choose your experience and live that. The third one being guided choice, in the sense that not necessarily a choice between an undesirable or desirable effect, but rather something that's social in nature. We as human beings are constantly influenced by our context when experiencing certain things, watching movies or playing games, and certain choices can be affected by who you're sitting next to when playing. For example, if you're say a guy sitting next to a girl you really like and playing a game in which you have to make a pretty detrimental choice, that choice might change depending on how you want this girl to see you. We're affected by everything, and guided choice could mean that every choice you make affects the one after that, and the choice you're about to make affects the one that you're going to make before that, if you can see it. The right choice is a tough thing to discern. In the game Dilemma, the player is presented with many choices that are detrimental on both sides, often equally undesirable. Making the right choice is tough until that's actually debated. In this slide, I say the right choice can only be motivated after the fact when somebody else believes it is wrong. If you make a choice which, out of two selections that are equally desirable, it's tough to say which one is right, unless somebody tells you that the other one was wrong, or that your one is wrong. You have to try and motivate that. The game is constantly putting the player in a situation where they will have to motivate their choice as the right one. Now I'm going to explain this core mechanic with a scenario from in-game. This is Bertram. He's kind of shy, and he's what's called a maglodyte. They're about yay high, up to your hip. he's incredibly shy. I mean, he runs a general goods caravan, and when I say runs, I mean when people come near it, he runs away. And people just sort of take what they can, because it's like a lost and found bin. And he considers that a good trade. He considers that doing business. But he's happy with life. He's a good kid. Now, on his way out of the forest that you've just exited, the Eyelight Forest, away from the city, going back to his home village, there's been a rock slide recently. And there's a giant boulder blocking the road. Now, you, as the main character, Quiz, whose head is made up of just an eyeball, cannot talk. This suits Bertram just fine. He's okay with you. When you approach him, he'll tell you about the problem. You can see the boulder in the road, but it's not just him asking you to fix this problem that'll cause you to do it, because you need to progress through the level and get through the boulder yourself as well. Helping Bertram is a side quest that'll come into play later with the village. Now, there are two ways to clear this boulder. Perhaps if you got a reasonably sized branch, you could provide enough physical leverage to tilt the rock and move it down the hill. But it could head right into the village and cause some damage that you can see. The other is that back in the forest near the exit, you found a small meadow where a giant Trog Lung, which is a huge beast of a troll creature, hibernating. If you had the right kind of foodstuff, you could coax him out of hibernation and he could move that boulder safely. But he is really big and probably kind of hungry, and there's really no telling what could happen if he was left to roam the forest again. Now, how you choose to solve this will affect what happens to the village in the next level. What happens to the village will then cause what choices you need to make in that village to fix that problem to differ in entirely different ways. You could have to make a choice to fix some of the town areas getting resources, or you could have to get in an entirely new special armed force to take care of a beast problem in the surrounding areas. These choices will help the player delve into what they think of themselves making these decisions, and from then on is going to influence their next decision, because now they've seen what could actually happen in their choices. And this is the main premise of the game and dilemma. Your decision between two equally undesirable effects, damage control, and thinking to yourself about fixing those issues, and actually eventually taking that into your own life as a player. Now, with you as the player being in between these equally undesirable situations, you're going to constantly be trying to put yourself between good and bad. The premise of it is that you can never really make a 100% helpful decision. There's always going to be someone that is affected, and someone affected well and someone affected negatively. The player needs to try and balance those two out and make sure they do as best they can in whatever way they want. They cannot care if they wanted to, or they can try and fix everything the way they can. Cause destruction across the land, or simply try and fix everything that they find. As social creatures who are constantly influenced by our experience and our context, these are the influences that are gonna change the way you see the world. There are no people in this game. They're creatures, some lovable, some hateable, but they're all gonna influence you in some way. Quiz, the main character who stands out in bold with his one big eye, is there to explore the world, find these creatures who might talk to you, might ask you for something. It's your choice whether you want to help them or not. And these interactions are exactly what's going to push you to do what you need to do. The idea is that these NPCs and these characters are going to delve into the player's actual want and need of experiencing the choices they make in this game. And the actual conversations you have with them are going to be the driving points for who to find next. So the main concept behind this game is to explore the world, choose your sides, feel good or not good. The point is to explore yourself in the game and to deal with the choices you make. Thank you.
Sorry, before you finish, just tell us your game genre and your target platform.
Oh, the game genre is a 3D platformer, and the targeted platform is console or PC.